Kebenze, Shirab Yede, Nongwe Chugunza, Tom Chodrag, Lama Shage, Yuro, and Javan Shana, Turje, Jinreze, Sayen, Imbo, Jaban, Nambrasar, Namgen, Imbo, Shamba, Kundozon, Yeve, Sechen, Jela, Charge, Wo, Sende Poran, Jekene, Shoto, Jimmy Tuje, Soda Magendo. Pomorinje Yuan Jendema, Yayam Drama, Shabla, Shaje, Wo, Sargundo, Sija, Tamile, Tamka Same, Shagion, Ronche, Shanjum, Jimbe, Lankin, Karmapa, Mishe de Beche, Tuge, Lasso, Tene, that show Kanechu Sinangi Yuan, Yang. Tene samba chungchup chodo sal tepatang chapsun rowa ngundu tongbe gone zero nang.
So wherever all of you are, all viewers, please begin by taking refuge in the three jewels and then bring to mind in a clear and precise manner the mindset called the body mind, which focuses upon attaining Buddha, the enlightened state, for the sake of becoming able to guide all other sentient beings to the same state or to achieving the same state.
Tene takazang chune ma shuyong de kusum je dani jenche lama tela tene ngarang che lame yuen den shebe gone pepa lame katen chembe gone me patang kyube sem senkente kodla yang do samna tang ne Chik Lama la Sanje Wes Tongwe Tene Sambachi Layete Ta De Chirtan Ta Gamnyamne Nankenchi na Ngondro to Nguji Chi Somare Lamen Anjor Senken Denzo
Depa Tang Muguni Kive Nyamlen de ngondro la shago gre song ergo
tangin de segiyore penna chitang nyamlen chil cha chona rawa ngondro to ngoje se yewa shegi do
la do
lamen na jorus de ngondru na de du yore de gam ngoje le yang tene lamen na jorle keche wa che chane yo mare
ngoje le keche
ya ngoje le người chỉ nói là thế là cái chế quá chứ xong rồi khăn yếu mà thì nó bé cái chấm.
Now, in terms of the kind of meditation practice that's explained, the Guru Yoga, primary perspectives are the following, namely that the practitioner, by way of having acquired the qualities of the Guru, then again and again, frequently, as a continuing practice, recollects these qualities till he gives rise to what one may refer to as unconditioned devotion for the Guru. And by way of again and again recollecting the kind deeds of the Guru in terms of the Guru guiding oneself and others, trust and confidence, respect and the like should be qualities that one sees in the Guru. And it's this kind of mindset which is central to this practice, the Guru Yoga. The practitioner is to cultivate this mindset till he truly sees the Guru as a Buddha. And in general, in terms of the kind of Buddhist meditation that is explained, there are two phases of meditation, the so-called preparatory phase and the phase or segment of more, one could perhaps say, advanced practices, in that when the practitioner starts out practicing the various ins and outs of that segment, the second, then he does so on the basis of having already achieved skill in the first, the preparatory phase or segment. Now, in terms of the Guru Yoga meditation itself, it is explained that it is to be a central theme in terms of the perspectives of it that were just explained, and that usually are categorized as preparatory. However, one should know that the features or aspects or perspectives of the Guru Yoga just explained in brief are equal to the so-called more advanced practices of the second segment. In fact, there isn't a single method in the group of the second segment that is more advanced than what was just explained. Or that is more profound than what was just explained. The mindset that one fosters till one truly sees the Guru as a Buddha.
Lamen nanjoro seyung tu Lama la Tepatang Mugu Sinkete Gogyara Mato Jeda Lama Chin Zene Doi Devatsam Tige Kai Pingamare Panna Karmapa Chin Sawatsam Tige Shida Rang Jula Topa Jetuya Kagore Teni Yena Yang That Tepatang
Tokma. Did you do?
Oh yeah.
Tokma. Lasso?
Tepatang Mugu Jetabla Yangne Yangdo Samatang Kore.
Now, in terms of this kind of practice, the Guru Yoga, devotion as well as trust and confidence in the Guru, respect towards him, appreciation of his compassionate deeds. These, as was just explained, perspectives are central to this kind of practice. to simply, for example, voice the mantra of a Guru Yoga. In this case, the mantra is that of Karmapa Chenno, without having fostered the kind of mindset just explained, wouldn't make for great progress, if any. In the absence of that mindset, it would be exceedingly difficult, if not impossible, to make any kind of progress as to this kind of practice. Realization of various levels would simply not be possible. For that to occur, true devotion, true respect and appreciation of the compassionate deeds of the Guru is the basis for any progress. That's why this mindset, just described in brief, is emphasized. Because without it, this kind of practice, in terms of making progress, isn't really possible. Namely, it would be impossible for someone practicing the Guru Yoga without that mindset to make progress.
Wrong like yebe semni klingchik je biye dik ngon du she gona lame shin lap la ten ngon du she
ngon tu che gona la so
lame shin lap la ten ne ngon du she go bare ma to yin che ta bio ma
in terms of a practitioner making efforts in his practice with the aim of actualizing the primordial or original knowledge, mind's true nature, spontaneously present within. A practitioner with this goal need to grasp that without the spiritual influence of the Guru, that goal cannot be realized. Without the spiritual influence, it is impossible to realize that goal. And that's the reason why the mindset described in brief is so important.
Perna he bezar gi ju ne rang la ne be ling che yi she ngon du she pa la ju ni go gon do song
Ju ni alltså
Lame shin lap thang
alltså
rang ki sunam sa pa ni sam yong du ten ling che yi she te rang ju tu je tu gre song.
Now, the Hivadra Tantra, in this regard, says the following. For a practitioner to actualize primordial knowledge spontaneously present within. Two causes for that to happen are at hand. The first of the two causes is that of the spiritual influence of the Guru. The second cause is that of the practitioner also engaging in deeds by way of which he accumulates so-called merit. The combination of the two permit the practitioner to actualize that wisdom within.
Tene sunam je so sakbe yulla
Hello.
dorje tek lamne 잡숨 끈두진 거고 라마를 싹배 다 요말에 송아 라마를 대바체 라마를 귀바체 라마를 최바풀 될 싹배 요말에 송아.
Now, in terms of accumulating merit, the extent of the merit one accumulates by whatever deed varies in relation to the object of the good deeds done. And according to the Vajrayana, the Buddhist Tantras, the most effective, as it were, in terms of accumulating great merit, the most effective object of the good deeds done is that of the Guru who embodies the three kayas. So, on the basis of one's true devotion for the Guru, one's trust and confidence in him, knowing his qualities, as well as one's respect and appreciation of him, in combination with, for example, making offerings to the Guru in question and the like, providing various kinds of service for the Guru in question and so on. By way of these deeds, a great extent of merit can be accumulated.
Penna Guhe Sampara Yuna Songare
Guha Samaja.
Ya, Samaja Yuna Songare.
That's it.
Do some Sanje Tam Jele Chepa Pulwa Lejang Lame Guye Papuchik La Chepa Pulwa Chena. This one so chegre so much.
The Guha Samaja Tantra says the following in this context, namely, to make an offering, for example, while focusing just on a single pore of the skin of the Guru who embodies the three kayas, the merit of that deed is far greater than the merit that would result from making offerings to all Buddhas of the past, the present, and the future.
Penna sonam chegwe junsen yang. Tu samji sanje tamche ji tokpe tente ngala ngusum tu ngotre nangking te tsawe namarwa. Ti yin zang gading ge chane this is the south of
So one may wonder, what's the reason for this? Well, it is the root guru in the present who introduces the disciple to mind's true nature, points mind true nature out to the practitioner so that the practitioner, by way of the guidance provided by that root guru, can make progress on the path to realizing what all the Buddhas of the past, the present, and the future have realized, are in the process of realizing, and will realize. So it's from this perspective that the root guru in the present, who provides guidance on this path, it is by way of his guidance, his deeds or compassionate deeds in guiding the practitioner that make it possible for the practitioner to achieve this kind of realization. That's the reason why making offerings to that kind of guru will result in greater merit than making offerings to all other Buddhas of the past, present, and future.
Today into Sunam Sapi Yulla Ben Lama Layang Lama Dramada Yungare Tang with that Tane Kusum Mundu Churve Lama Sanje Kama Bandra Chigla and just so a Tebnam.
Now, in terms of accumulating this kind of merit in relation to the guru, it's a matter of the kind of guru who has actualized the three kayas. There are many gurus, many lamas in our world. All of them have perhaps not attained Buddha, the enlightened state. However, the Karmapa also frequently, in terms of Tibetan Buddhism, referred to as a Buddha, is seen as such a guru who has truly attained Buddha, the enlightened state, a guru who has actualized the three kayas. And in terms of accumulating the kind of merit just explained, that kind of merit can be accumulated or generated, however one wants to phrase it, with respect to the Karmapa and others like him, who have actualized the three kayas. And it's to this kind of guru, in the context of this guru yoga, it is the Karmapa himself who one meditates on. And it's this kind of guru that one, in the prayer, the four-line prayer that was explained last time, it's this kind of guru one supplicates, that one focuses on.
Penna karma chame ki some song yore. Tene ta soche lama kande chik sa ne kashu shugi yo na yang rang ke tsawe lama the jawa Karmapa Sharmana Kurong Chile Mene Soa Top Tang Tene Charan Sola Sinlap Nyebar Nyugre Songre.
The well-known Tibetan Buddhist master who lived in the 1700s, Karma said the following in this regard. A practitioner may receive explanations on the Guru Yoga or any other kind of practice from a so-called ordinary Guru or Lama, categorized as it were as ordinary simply because the Guru or Lama in question hasn't yet actualized the three kayas. But that doesn't mean that the Guru or Lama in question doesn't have the qualifications to explain and teach to others. Point made is that one may well receive guidance and teachings as to a meditation like this one or any other meditation from a so-called Guru or Lama who is still on a level referred to as ordinary, in that the guide or that spiritual friend is not yet fully enlightened. So Karma pointed out one may well receive explanations and teachings about this kind of meditation from that kind of Guru or Lama, or that a Lama or Guru of that level. However, in terms of the actual meditation, he pointed out, it is imperative that the Guru one meditates on is a Guru who is enlightened, who has attained the three kayas. And in terms of our tradition, this Buddhist master Karma was of the Karma Kagyu school. In terms of our tradition, he said, the Guru one that would be appropriate to meditate on would be either the black crown Guru or the red crown Guru. That is to say, either the Gyalva Karmapa or the Gyalva Shamarpa. Because when supplicating gurus like them who have attained enlightenment, if the practitioner has developed the mindset of devotion and the like that was explained earlier, when on the basis of that mindset the practitioner supplicates any of the two, it is certain that he will be affected by or influenced by their blessing or spiritual influence.
Kusum dani jin res Karmapa shaya ke kechan de Karmapa shamana de kusum dani jin res kecha de kam kaju ki shecha jigbu mare bög chöju changme songbu.
Now, in terms of the two, the Karmapa and the Shamarpa, it's not just within the Karmakadya school of Tibetan Buddhism that these two are seen as gurus who embody the three kayas. In terms of old Tibet, that was the general view.
Petsun shuna pena pandes sakyabe shone. Tak hedu cheshuji lama jire. Rontun sheja kunri kyunkente ke.
Rangtun?
Ja.
Sheja kunkyap?
Kunrik.
Sheja kunrik?
Ja.
Lasse?
Kong sonan la. Milla mi fa mayore so. Ngala sangye loma yosore.
La mila loma du?
La mi loma dos. Ngala ne sangye loma yosore. Korange. Karasena kam patupege chakwa mangche was success kongwa.
Now there is a great Buddhist master of the past within the Sakya school, the glorious Sakya school of Tibetan Buddhism. A master well known for being accomplished in both learning and meditation. His name is Rangtun Sheja Kunrik. He once is reported to have said the following: well, most lamas, like myself and others, have a lot of disciples, and all of them are regular human beings in terms of the major bulk of disciples. I actually have a disciple who's enlightened, who is not just a regular practitioner on the path to enlightenment. I have, and that makes my group of disciples slightly different, in that within my group there is at least one who has attained enlightenment. And he said this with respect to the sixth Karmapa, who Rangtun Sheja Kunrik apparently guided and taught to a great extent as to the Buddhist scriptures.
Lasso, Patni Palangan Rogi Mato, shared another payment which she had to say that's all. Yeah.
We will now continue with the next part of the meditation text. Khenpo Rinpoche says there are many more things to be said and to be explained. However, there is just today and one more session next Saturday left, and if he continues with more details, we won't be able to complete the explanations of the text. So we'll go on with the next segment now.
Tandor Dunishuna Kusum Dani Jin Karmapa Tene Junsin Shepegone
In brief, regarding the four-line prayer where one supplicates the Guru, it's about turning to, in this case, the Karmapa, in this case the 16th Karmapa, who embodies the three kayas and who therefore is the kind of Guru who has actualized Buddha, the enlightened state. And while supplicating the Karmapa, one should, as was also explained, do so on the basis of true devotion for him, which one has developed because of truly knowing his qualities, as well as respect for him and appreciation of him. On that basis, one recites the four-line prayer in the meditation text.
Lasso, teaching on to Takasan Ladum the Shu on to Muji Cap the Latin Ayores Shubi. They Shuben on it, that ring turns in Somba, non troops to get the Latubre.
Now, previously, Khenpo Rinpoche set out 5 points in terms of the various segments of the meditation text. And today we've come to the third of the 5, which is the so-called inner perspective of the meditation practice.
Nang drup shugoya de songa lana mebe surtartu wang ye lembegone Lama drup sutre.
And the inner perspective is a perspective found in the 4th of the 4 classes of the Buddhist Tantras, referred to as the highest, the unexcelled, or the incomparable class. Now, what's at hand here is the taking of the so-called 4 empowerments.
That in the Tangbonge, Sikorang Tanda the magic shoe, then one you got the commission also.
Pena palden la menesum la sopa di dankumasum.
Yeah.
Tene don't. So Khenpo Rinpoche will first read out the text. I will read out the translation of it. Once Khenpo Rinpoche has read out the text, or the words of this segment of the text, rather.
That did it well. Palden lame nesum drusum le Vase kamar thinsum chikchar tu ronge gosum latim wangye to said.
So the beginning of it, this segment, says the following: from the 3 places of the illustrious Guru, the 3 seed syllables radiate white, red, and blue-colored light at the same time. The light red rays are absorbed through my 3 gates, and thus the 4 empowerments are obtained or received, however one wants to phrase it.
This say on the Palden Lama Yawakamape Kui ne men some to 이게 암가르고 송긴네 렘베 위수 이게 암마르고 두께 네네 이게 홍문벌레 웨슬 딱지 쪽에 웨슬 강 암레 웨슬 까르베 톡박도 메바트
Lasso.
다니 땅 가섭 셈젠 탐제제 트랄베 네수 까르보테 템네 듀지 준 까르보 빡투메 밥
Dina papache.
디네 파바체 된 되게 토메는 싹베 류직고네 딕바탕 드바데 정성 삼베 밑바체 구비어 단디 갑틀라
Lasso.
땅에 원데디 슈게 밤배 왕게 밑바차데 왕왕게 밑바치.
So, this segment starts with the words from the 3 places of the illustrious Guru. The 3 seed syllables radiate white, red, and blue colored light at the same time. This is a reference to the following. The practitioner here meditates that on the forehead of the Guru, in between the 2 eyebrows, there is the white-colored seed syllable Om, and at the throat center, there is the red-colored seed syllable A, and at the heart center, which is in the center of the torso, there is the blue-colored seed syllable Hung. And immeasurable light radiates at the same time from these 3 places. To begin with, the white light rays emanating from or radiating from the white seed syllable Om in the center of the forehead strikes the same spot as to the body or on the body of the meditator, the practitioner. And it thus enters the body of the meditator. It there takes the shape and form of so-called nectar, in this case white-colored nectar, which fills the entire body of the meditator, by way of which non-virtuous deeds engaged in since beginningless time, since time immemorial, are purified, and thus the obscurations that this non-virtue have produced, produces in the present and will produce in the future, is also done away with. And in terms of the so-called 4 empowerments, that relates to the first of the 4, the so-called Vase empowerment, and Khenpo Rinpoche will explain the details of the various empowerments a bit later.
Then, ta Jimbe Vase Chodrag ta Jiugu Vase ta Ring Jawara Vase Marble Mato. They took Vase Tiang, Tegaran Re.
Then you have the light rays emanating from the throat center and the heart center. From the throat center, red-colored light rays, and from the heart center, blue-colored light rays. Now, in terms of the meditation, it's the same as was just explained with respect to the light rays emanating from the seed syllable Om in the center of the forehead.
Gosum Kale, Sir, Kamartinsum, Tuchichat, Trene, Jive want to talk you, Sherab, kind of Tiwanum.
Lare, Diana, and Boom to Sum in the wa.
Tenepena, Jimbed Nella, someone, Ninke Nella, Sherwan, then Gosum Chanyam Bidip Tane, Tiwanum chairs and get the song. That is shifting it. That you said,
so, in terms of the light rays in the context of the remaining two, the red-colored light and the blue-colored light, the meditation, the details of the actual meditation is the same, and in the context of the light rays emanating from the seed syllable, the red seed syllable A, entering the meditator's body on the corresponding place. By way of that, non-virtue and obscurations in the context of speech are purified, and the so-called secret empowerment is obtained. Then you have the blue-colored light from the heart center. The details of the meditation are the same, and the effect is that of purifying the meditator of non-virtue accumulated primarily by way of his worldly mindset, and the light rays then eradicates or purifies rather the meditator of the non-virtue in question, as well as the light rays purifying the meditator of the resulting obscurations. After that, the practitioner meditates that all three lights strike his three places at the same time, by way of which non-virtue and the resulting obscurations with respect to body, speech and mind are eradicated simultaneously, as it were, and in terms of which empowerment is at hand, it's the fourth of the four, the so-called word empowerment.
Lasso, Tayinde, that rank gossam Latin, one ye top sondwa.
And if you remember, the wording of the text is, the light rays are absorbed through my three gates, and the four empowerments are thus obtained.
Tayinde, Pajang Yagan the Sinking, Mang Cheshute, that there were Venal Yu Deve, Nets and Chichunin, they can sort on. Tagpo Gishol Yu thinking, Nets and Chunin thinking, Sin thinking, rede or mangchat. Tejete, Karmapa Shamana, Gundana, one shooting in Janjante. Tea into one corte, thoughts in air, Shushanatis.
Now, Khenpo Rinpoche continues, he says, in terms of the majority of the viewers, all of you out there, he estimates that the majority of you are practitioners either from the group of practitioners here in Vienna, Austria, who on a regular basis attend various teachings and courses given by Khenpo Rinpoche here, as well as many practitioners of Dakpo Kagyeling in France, who also on a regular basis attend various courses given by Khenpo Rinpoche there at Dakpo Kagyeling in France. And he knows that all of you are practitioners who have received empowerments and guidance from both some of you from both the 16th Karmapa and the 17th Karmapa Taya Dorje, as well as the late Jigme Rinpoche, or your practitioners who have received empowerments, teachings, and so on from the present Karmapa, the 17th Karmapa Taya Dorje, and the late Jigme Rinpoche. And as the focus here of the Guru Yoga is that of the Karmapa, Khenpo Rinpoche will, having all of you in mind, all of you and of course everyone else, explain a bit about the details as to the four empowerments in the context of how this is to be understood here in relation to the meditation.
Teje teyang te Karmapa Shamana je wankur top deba pechewa de yinsa ta sam tang de ti yin zang wang sekente wone
Shamarpa.
Tene wang sekente chi le la cho da zane manrowa junsin yang da chi gene shunang gore dippe kechem gore Now,
Khenpo Rinpoche has also, with respect to all other viewers, drawn the conclusion that the majority of you have presumably attended teachings given by the late Jigme Rinpoche, as well as having assisted at empowerments that he has given. So he would like to emphasize that the perspective called an empowerment it's very important to understand what that is about. It's important to know, to begin with, that empowerment is not something, what would the word be? It's not something one should take lightly, as it were, simply because empowerment is the very gateway to the path of the Buddhist Tantras. And anyone who practices the Buddhist Tantras, for the practice to be effective, for the practice to produce or result in progress, it is necessary that this perspective, called empowerment, is known properly and understood properly, because otherwise progress is simply not possible.
대간 신게
Lassa?
dorje tekpe nyamne yese teyang wang yedang dreve nyamne shechigre.
Furthermore, in terms of the Vajrayana, or the path of the Buddhist Tantras, it is the case that each and every method of the Buddhist Tantras is based in the four empowerments.
Tiyintu penna lamik wangji ngaranso shubiyina tagun tang nguji sene ni yongyo.
Now, in terms of the fourth class of the four classes of the Buddhist Tantras, the unexcelled or incomparable class of Tantra, however one wants to phrase it, here an empowerment, a so-called empowerment, has certain stages. To begin with, there is the so-called preparatory phase. The Tibetan word is tagun, which simply means to shoulder the responsibility for the empowerment, so that the empowerment is given properly according to the principles of the Buddhist Tantras. Tagun.
Tagun te kandechi resa nasegi yawa mangbo riyore te mang chewa te wan nayak tradik che.
So this is about a preparatory phase as to the actual empowerment, where the guru who performs the empowerment not only prepares himself, but the entire setting in terms of the place, those present, the arrangements as to the empowerment, etc. And here there are different stages. One could probably categorize all of them into 5 groups. La. So the first 4 of the 5 stages, as to the so-called preparatory phase, mainly concern the guru who performs the empowerment and his responsibility in terms of the empowerment being correctly performed. The 5th has to do with the practitioner preparing himself for the empowerment. So the preparatory phase is something that concerns both the guru who performs the empowerment and the practitioner who takes the empowerment.
Tininte the lion and say you what don't young decree.
Kangla nangsegi vadun.
Loma tagan Koran.
And with respect to the practitioner preparing himself for taking the empowerment, there are 7 stages. However, there won't be time enough to go into the 7, but keep that in mind, and you could presumably at a later point find out about those 7 stages. Khenpo Rinpoche says there may be some opportunity in the future where he could elucidate these points.
Tenzo kanga tagun the troops on that kapka the Yama ni gorgando, tagun the Yama chick, Nurja the Yama chick chen non trundo, kapka the Yama sum chen non trundo, Tanda Yawamendo.
Now, in terms of the duration of the so-called preparatory phase, sometimes it's done in just a day, sometimes 2 days, sometimes 3 days are devoted for the preparatory phase or devoted to the preparatory phase. Sorry. Yes. Lasso.
Tijetana. Tawanshin Nange.
Yeah.
Tangpo the Pombe one secretary.
So Khenpo Rinpoche will now start the explanations of the 4 empowerments. And the first of the 4 is the so-called Vase empowerment.
Tene Pombe one secretary la Nangseke Yawasum Yongyoche.
Chuksum karete.
Chusum te tumbusum gogoro. Pawang Nushidun Jenanga
Lasso.
Ugyomatan Zente Pass.
Ugyomatan Zente Pass. Ni.
Tati Chikzisha.
Chikzisha.
Yeah, the Zive, Pawang Chusum Songyot.
There are various stages of a so-called Vase empowerment. To begin with, there are 3 principal stages, and each of them, except for the 3rd, has a number of sub-stages. Jenang dun rewa dangpo.
Tongbo mar ngöchi dun.
Ngöchi dun sidi kondisi sun.
Ngöchi dun se ringe wang. Tulju jemba.
Mari ngöchi sungo yat sendi.
Ngöchi seguya pawang ngomata terwa.
First, there is, in terms of the 3, the so-called actual empowerment. And it has 7 sub-stages. Next, in terms of 3 categories, there is five sub-stages, each devoted to or each about permitting the practitioner who takes the empowerment to engage in 5 specific perspectives. So here then there are 5 sub-stages, and then you have the third, which doesn't have any sub-stages, and it's about Ugjungwa Dadi Maungpa Kadu. Zengtöpa di kondishi konsongo.
Ugjungwa dan zengtöpa songudwa.
Re insikti.
Ta zengtöpa singida malam na digre.
Marina. Sang tu patati maungpa kisandegi.
Yeah. Ugyongwa se de chram maung pa na sang yegre sanje chen dendra wachre se long te batale. Zing te pa se na ta trin na song de church kolo korsho song. Church ta de wang di yuen ten zo go gro.
The wongi yönten tsot sarne tene chugi kolo kors.
Yeah.
Dadi maungpa la yang.
Maung
Yeah. So we have then
the
third in terms of three, the three groups here of substages, and the third is about where the guru who performs the empowerment predicts the enlightenment of the disciple or disciples present, as well as encourages the disciple or disciples present to, in the future, once they have accomplished the practices associated with the Vase empowerment, once that has been achieved, they are encouraged to, or rather told to, turn the wheel of the Dharma. Now, this, the third of the three, it's very rare that this segment of the Vase empowerment is given at all. So, in terms of the different segments, it's not the case that all of them, if one counts the substages, you have 13 in all. It's not the case that at every Vase empowerment, all 13 substages are performed or given by the guru who gives the empowerment. One should keep that in mind.
Teaching on the Pamante, Kurve Yeti, Ger Luz and Kettere, Ponger Dubedundere.
So, the focus in terms of the Vase empowerment, in terms of, and its 13 substages, is the various major facets a so-called individual is made up of, i.e. the 5 skandhas, the 5 psychophysical constituents that make for a sentient being, very often by human beings referred to as an individual. What is an individual made up of? Well, the 5 skandhas, the 5 psychophysical constituents called the 5 skandhas.
Tene, ta wang ngote, nge, pongpongai ngote, ngonde, ye demane, rikpe, yeshe ngai ngote.
Now,
Ting ngote.
The Vase empowerment is about introducing those who take the empowerment, the disciples who are present, introducing them to or pointing out to them that the true nature of the 5 skandhas, the 5 psychophysical constituents that a sentient being is made up of, as it were, are, from the very beginning, in terms of their true nature, they embody what is known as the 5 wisdoms, loosely speaking. It's about 5 perspectives of so-called original or primordial knowledge which sees the true nature of the 5 skandhas, the 5 psychophysical constituents.
제자 왕금오티 이싱아 인투 남바티 이싱아레 샤르베
남바데 이싱아레 샤르베
링에 상제
나레 ring에 상제다 남바티 da namtsik deraba sanjenga kagi nampala kogure deraba yeshile sharba
kogu yorwa
so
ti into wangze tenzo galwa ringa rere kindu senje lapche ne lobende kuryungdo ga
wangze de la da tsalek teki
da wangze de pena 당보대 범바대 꾸르비어와
라레
니파테 우진트 꾸르비어와
우진
삼바테 도르제 예바테 철부 나바테 맹기왕 맹왕
맹에디 슈기민도 탄다 다 탄다 보몽라바
야
a Ming Wong kakarwa nget sig Wong ko so Ming Wong sungino
Ming Wong
so there are what is loosely known as the 5 wisdoms. It's the kind it is original or primordial knowledge which sees the nature of the 5 skandhas, the 5 psychophysical constituents. Now, in terms of pointing this out to the disciples who take the empowerment, various symbols are used. And with respect to each of the 5 kinds of primordial knowledge, there is a specific Buddha. A Buddha with, or a Buddha of a certain color, a certain shape, and the like. You're probably familiar with the expression the 5 Buddha families. Well, it's about 5 Buddhas and their specifics in terms of their appearance, where the symbolism in terms of their color, their appearance, and the like is about a specific type of or aspect of primordial knowledge which sees the true nature of a specific skandha. So this is important to understand in terms of the empowerment, that the Vase empowerment is primarily about pointing out instructions by way of the 5 Buddhas and what they point to in terms of the true nature of each of the 5 skandhas, the 5 psychophysical constituents. And you have the ritual objects used in terms of these 5 perspectives, or in terms of the Vase empowerment, there is 5 principal ritual objects used. The first is that of a vase. The second is that of the head ornament of a Sambhogakaya Buddha. The third is that of a Vajra. The fourth is that of a bell. And then the Mingwong gi Chala Ramasona Kare.
Chibuni that's a troll, then one the main retail door.
Yeah. The Ngaduga, Bompa, Ujen, Doja, Trilbo, and Mingwong.
Yeah.
Then you have the 5th segment here, which is called the name empowerment, at which point the guru who performs the empowerment rings the bell he holds in his hand while pronouncing the name he gives to the disciples, or the names he gives to the disciples who take the empowerment. In terms of the mandala that has been built up in connection with the empowerment, in the center of that structure there is placed a bell to which a Vajra is attached, and when it comes to the name empowerment segment of the Vase empowerment, that ritual object is taken from the center of the mandala, given to the guru by his attendant, and it is this bell that the guru rings as he pronounces the name or names of the disciples present, the names he bestows to them in the context of the Vase empowerment. Now, these 5 empowerments, or sub-empowerments, as to the so-called Vase empowerments, are referred to as the 5 empowerments which are about making the disciple see the true nature of the 5 skandhas, the 5 psychophysical constituents. If you remember, there are 7 sub-empowerments or sub-stages as to the Vase empowerment. Number 6, the first 5 of the 7 were just explained, and number 6 is the phase where the guru who performs the empowerment gives guidance as to the disciple engaging in deeds by way of which he tames his mind.
Tate turju gen sade ta rikpa yeshe nga ngotre sarbe du ta romatele tang ye tanda charang ke Ninang ki shimban de pang ne
Lasso.
Tene tul se de ninang di shimbat tul ne rikpa yi shin ay lam tu shute
Lasso.
lam che bramba gamche se tin nongmat tregi.
So this sub-stage, or this stage or phase of the Vase empowerment, number 6, here the Guru who performs the empowerment tells the disciples present that I have now pointed out to you the kind of knowledge which sees the true nature of each of the 5 skandhas, each of the 5 psychophysical constituents of the sentient beings. Now, you, the disciple, must make the efforts which allow you to eradicate your worldly mindset with its dualistic preconceptions about reality. You must now tame your mind, your worldly mindset, so that the 5 kinds of original or primordial knowledge which see the true nature of the 5 skandhas, the 5 psychophysical constituents, is developed. You now engage in the deeds by way of which you make that kind of progress. Just a second. And towards that end, you need my permission to engage in the kind of meditation which is about generating or that is about you in meditation generating the world, the enlightened world of the Yidam, as well as you as the Yidam. So there is this kind of meditation which is about various stages where the meditator in his mind's eye generates the enlightened world of the Yidam as well as himself as the Yidam. So that's what the guidance as to taming the mind is about.
And
I forgot to say, excuse me, that the stages of this kind of meditation are about methods by way of which the worldly mindset can be corrected and emptied of dualistic preconceptions. Now, in terms of the Buddhist Tantras, you find 2 principal kinds of meditation, the one just explained in brief, and then you have completing that kind of meditation so that an enlightened mindset, so that a fully enlightened mindset can occur. That is to say, the meditator completes that kind of meditation by bringing into the meditation the perspective called the Dharmakaya.
Tadi jerim de gam ne jerim ke pongchat kararesana tamal peshin ton de pongyer flying ru temba top go yose.
Right, ne?
Tadi gam ne
Kirengi
jerim de gambala ten kariyung yore.
Lare?
Ko pongchat de tamal peshin ton de bang ne.
Tamal patiento setu dendrupki shento. Yeah. So the purpose of the first of these two types of meditation in the Buddhist Tantras is to remedy the dualistic preconceptions that the worldly mindset has as to seeing a real reality in each and everything. And what so-called reality boils down to is the five skandhas, the five psychophysical constituents, mind and matter. That's all there is to reality, in fact. And the point of the first type of meditation is to remedy the notions and ideas that one has as a worldly person about mind and matter, that each and everything, whether it's a question about matter or the mind, has a real reality. This is to be remedied. The notion of a real reality in each and everything. That's the purpose of this meditation.
Tene ta tagana shinge zogrum la tre jewa sumare ta tre jewa sedu tarna yeshe ngaba nyongto nge pa jewa.
Then we have the second perspective of meditation in the Buddhist Tantras, which is the completing perspective, in that the practitioner, by the Chödrag choti sur jargo gervata
Ja janne lugro.
Dende shugure kan shugure.
Yeshe ngale nge panda to zi nyongto nge panda wa chil ko go gro wa tre ji shiside.
Jolam sån skikro.
Ja, det.
Ore. Dade Chödrag chadang tympa sån.
Ja.
Well, the completing perspective has to do with, as was said earlier, the Dharmakaya in terms of the three kayas. One could perhaps say, though it's to make things simple, though it's not quite correct, but just to make it more understandable, that the Nirmanakaya and the Sambhogakaya, you have the feature or perspective of form there to a great extent. And then in terms of the Dharmakaya, the perspective of form has fallen away, so one could talk about meditation with form and perhaps meditation without form, just to express this in very simple terms, though it's not just that. So we are now looking at the various stages as to completing meditation practice in the context of the Buddhist tantras. With respect to the previous, there are also many stages. And here Khenpo Rinpoche starts out with the stages of the path of unification, which follows upon the first of the 5 paths, the path of accumulation, at which point the practitioner has tamed his worldly mindset by way of the meditation described very briefly, to the extent where he begins to experience in a definitive manner, he begins to develop experiences of seeing the true nature of the 5 skandhas, the 5 psychophysical constituents, being a reference to the fact that none of them has a real reality.
Tati chupata tsasuna dambate te tindeg tokpa yuden tela dorje lobun nga sorgiyo bare.
And it's at this point
chupata turjuk jimba se thanda timba te dambate lobun nga sorwa sket.
And that brings us to the 7th stage of an empowerment, where the guru who performs the empowerment confirms that the disciple has developed to the point, has made progress to the point where he can act as a so-called Vajra master. So that would then concern what was just explained in the context of the path of unification. Disciples of that level primarily.
That tendrege dorje loben tege ten jenanga sanket kurbiyor. Ku song tu yenten chenleg jenangat.
And the guru then continues by giving what one may perhaps loosely refer to as 5 kinds of permission in relation to 5 perspectives of the meditation. Once the disciple, or in effect of the disciple, having developed to a Vajra master.
Tandi jenang de zo kaduyina lama sokul nang gedwa.
No.
Oda jenang che. Jenang de zo ge je de la ugyuma tang zen de pa singede.
Det Lama kaduyina nang de gendu song kan du ko gore godt.
Jenang de zo ta penna choso de zo no wang se de mang de jenang de kur nang gyo che.
No.
Karsana wang yeban de ta wone chena Lama de chik top na dege jigyo re. Tat wang ge top me top satsam to de yawam bushira yo re. Tat duse mendu ten de Jemeke Saturday nge shuj sheba yayana.
Now, in terms of these 5 aspects of Vase empowerment, the 5 being about a disciple being permitted to engage in various ins and outs of practices and the like. This is what is very often given, perhaps not all 5, perhaps just one of them, when empowerments are given in Buddhist centers. There is a lot of detail here, why this is the case. Some take the view that once a Buddhist practitioner has received all stages of an empowerment, then in terms of future empowerments, all stages are not required to be given because all of them have been given once, and that this would therefore not make it necessary to be given again. However, some do not agree with this approach. There is a lot of details here, but Khenpo Rinpoche says we don't have time to go into these details. So you have what is called a great empowerment, during which all 4 empowerments are given, Vase empowerment and so on, the ones that were listed at the beginning, with all their sub-stages, or the sub-stages that are appropriated with respect to those who take the empowerments. Now, the late Jigme Rinpoche, just before his passing, gave a so-called great empowerment with all the various sub-stages appropriate for the occasion at Dakpo Kajiling in France. And the empowerment was that of the Tathagata Gyalva Gyamtso.
Lasso Sunam de Tamje Zigbanye, Tomne Nyebe, Dranam Pomchete, Jeganache, Balap Trubai, Sigbe, Solen, Roy,